Hello. So today I've decided to do two witches. It's two cards. I'm going to see how it goes. I'm trying new stuff. This is from Pink Ink Design. That's the Halloween collection for this year. There's a witch, there's some sort of branches with leaves floating, and two sentiments and a few little details. So the witch is quite a good size. So that's the one I'm using. Because I want to do two different shades of colors, I thought that let me try to do two and see which color I like the most. So on this one, I've put the witch in the middle and I've used one sentiment and a few details. And for this one, I've put it slightly on that side and I've done a sort of crescent moon size type of thing with the sentiment in the middle. I didn't have any spiderweb stencils, and by the time I order on Amazon, it's going to be too long to wait. So I've used the star from Studio Light, and that's art by Marlene. So it's stencils. I thought that stars are alright. This star, they are made with distress grit paste from Ranger. That's Team Holtz, the Halloween collection, I think, for this year. I was curious about that, so I sort of used the stencil and with a palette knife. As you can see, it's weird texture, but when you put it on and it dries like that. Actually, it dries like that. You can see better with the bigger star, sort of gray with black dots in the middle. And that's the little stars, which I've used the one in the stencil. So yeah, that's what I've used. For the stamping, I always use Versafine, the black one, the very dark black and waterproof. I like this one because I use watercolor and it doesn't bleed. For the ink, I think I'm going to use watercolor. This watercolor, that's from Amazon. It was not really expensive, but I quite like the colors. I love the purples and the greens in this palette, so I'm going to use that palette. And my go-to complexion Prima Marketing palette, which I really love because it's got all the skin tone that you can think of. So that's what I will use. But before that, I think I'm going to use this Distress Mica stain. That's called Hocus Pocus. It's a purpley one, shiny one, pearlescent. That's from Team Holtz. That's the Halloween range for this year. Actually, I bought the whole lot, as you can see. There's 6 of them. So I think one is going to be purpley, and maybe one is going to be greeny blue. So yeah. So without further ado, I'm going to do spray this mica stain on each of the pages, and we're going to see what it looks like after. See you in a bit. So I spray Harvest Moon one, like sort of you can see there's lots of glittery things. Sometimes you can see that. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to spray the purple, but obviously I don't want it to go on the witch, so I'm going to do something like that. And I'm going to use this Hocus Pocus, that's the purple one. So I need to shake it very well for the pearlescent bits to mix well. So there we are. So I'm going to put a bit, not too much there as well. Okay, so that's sprayed nicely. And what I do is, obviously you need to use water to remove you don't want the lines. Oh, that's quite nice, this color. I noticed that you need to use the water as soon as you spray it, because once it's dry, that's it, you can't mix it anymore. I've done quite a lot of mistakes before doing this this video. So okay, so these sprays are quite convenient actually. They're also quite easy to use. Okay, maybe like this. I'm going to absorb the rest with the tissue paper, and voila. So that's like this, and with the tissue paper I'm going to absorb the excess. And I'll show you what it looks like when it has dried nicely. So while this one is drying, I'm going to carry on that one. So as you can see, I don't know if you can see with the light, this pearlescent spray paint is very, very nice. This one, what was this one I used? This one is bubbling cauldron, a nice green. So that's what I used. What I'm going to do now is I'm probably going to use this palette, and it's going to be a sort of shade of green. There's this dark green that I quite like, that I'm probably going to put maybe here just to make it pop. So this is watercolor. Now I'm going to work on that one with the watercolor, and I'll show you the end result after. That's the purple and yellow one. I don't know if you can see, it's sort of, there's a bit of a sheen to it. So this one I'm going to use a shade of pink and purple, and then at the end I'm going to see which one I like the most. But I just wanted to try some different colors. So I'm working on these ones, and I'll show you after when it's all dry. Okay, that's all dry. I've used this paper, by the way, by Faber-Castell. It's 250 gram, but as you can see, I use the water and it's warping, so I'll have to use a heavier paper next time, because I use a lot of water. So I'm going to use my go-to Prima Marketing Complexion watercolor palette to do the skin tone, and it will have to dry again, and I will have to do the hat and the dress after that. So let's have a look at, maybe I can do one with maybe this color here. Like that. After we'll use colored pencil for the details. maybe a bit of a darker tone. This one's got a bit of a tan. Okay, maybe I should put something a little bit more here as well, because that's definitely too pale. And once again, I will have to let this dry a bit. The next step, it will have to be the hat and the dress with watercolor, and I will use these ones after these colored pencil from Castle Arts for all the details. So let's make it dry. So that's dry. Next, I'm going to use a bit of pastel from Davenport. This one is called Chilled, and I've got this one as well, which is Birthday Suit, and that one which is Light Up. So I'm going to use this pastel. I'm going to start, for example, now with the purpley one. There you are. You sort of use this little makeup. I need to buy some. I don't have any more, but here you go. Yep, so I'm going to use something like that, and maybe I do a bit of purpley here, just to they are so convenient, these pastel. So I'm going to put a little bit all over the place, and I'm going to do the same with the green one. But for this one, I will use this palette. So once I'm done, I'll show you what it looks like. So I'm done with the pastels, the Davenport one. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to use these colored pencils to do all the details, the fruit, the flowers, bit of lipstick, and just a little bit of details of the witch now with these colored pencils. And after that, I will have to deal with probably the little star. They need to pop a little bit more. So let's get on with the colored pencils. Let's have a look. I think these are the greeny ones, so maybe I start with the greeny one. Maybe something like this. So yeah, so I'm going to do that with the mushroom and the apples, and I'll show you at the end what it's going to look like. I will do the same for the purpley one, but obviously I don't know, maybe different type of colors. Okay, so I think that's the finished product. I've used what is it, the jelly roll from Sakura, to put a little bit around here, just to lift it with the stars and a little bit the hair. So that's what I've used, and I've used this palette. This is made in Germany. It's called Coliro, and it's got all these beautiful gold, silver, copper. It's really, really, really nice. So I've used this one for the star, because I thought that they were not bright enough. So I think this is it. Like I said, the paper is not the right paper. I need to get a heavier paper next time. And also I'm going to glue that in my scrapbook, and I will show you the final result after. So that's the final project. Actually, it's not as bad. I was not 100%, but it looks quite nice. I wanted to try different way, so that's what I've done. I've glued it on my journal. Oh, my cat is jumping around. And for the border, I've used these ones. This is from Stamperia Create Happiness. Yeah, my cat is going crazy there. I mean, there's this designer called Vicky Papailou. I mean, she's Greek. Yeah? She's got her own collection. It's called Stamperia Create Happiness. This is in the first collection. They're very convenient. What you do is you just do something, for example, like that, and then you use a makeup sponge. And I've used my go-to Versafine ink pad, and you just dot a little bit there. And for that, I've used this one, and for that one, I've used that one there. So they're very good for doing borders. These ones. And I've used this ink pad from the range. They're cheap and cheerful. I quite like them. And a little bit of glitz. That's from the Works. So it's just £1. So I've put a little bit on top, and I don't know. I'm just going to show you exactly properly. So this is what it looks like. It was quite a lot of product I used, but I've ordered a lot. So when I order a lot, I quite like to use everything because, you know, it's not cheap. So that's what it looks like. So yeah, quite pleased with that. Hope you like it. Bye for now.